Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest edition of the Payton Doyle Show. I'm Payton Doyle, host of the Payton Doyle Show. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. And today, we're going to be starting a new segment on the show. I'll be getting into that later called Poll Payton, where you all ask me questions and then I'll answer them on the show. I actually got quite a few of interesting questions to answer for you guys later. But first, I have to get into the AFC North and Joe Burrow versus Baker Mayfield. I was just observing the games last week. You know, as I always do, I watch every single game, every single Sunday. And I made a realization. Baker Mayfield is the odd man out in the AFC North. I hate to say it. It hurts me so much to say it. As a Browns fan, it kills me to say it. But it's the truth. I have to be honest with you guys. Joe Burrow already is better than Baker Mayfield. Big Ben is still rolling along, and Lamar Jackson is obviously super electrifying as he's always been since he's entered the league. But now, where does Baker fit in this AFC North quarterback situation? He has no pizzazz, no it. The Browns are a great team, but they have a big problem at the most important position, maybe in all of sports. Now, let me say, I don't think that Baker Mayfield is that bad. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. But he just happens to be playing in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL, and he just seems like the odd one out. Joe Burrow, he leads games. Big Ben, he's a Hall of Famer. Lamar Jackson, he's electrifying. Baker Mayfield, blah. He's just plain. You know what I mean? He doesn't do enough to win against big game teams like the Steelers, like the Ravens, like even the Raiders last week. We've seen Joe Burrow come up big against good teams, which is something we haven't seen from Baker. The Browns have to start showing up against good teams at the end of the season. They're 5-3 going to their bye. Now this is the second half of their season. They have to start playing better against good teams. They got destroyed by Baltimore week 1, then destroyed by Pittsburgh, and they got beat by Las Vegas. Those were 3 of the best teams that they've played, and they've gone 0-3 in all of those games. Baker needs to start stepping up in big games against good teams before I'm a true believer in him. And while we're still on the AFC North, I feel as if I should do this before it's too late. Listen, I wrote an apology to all you Steelers fans out there. I actually just posted it on social media, the written version. Here is me saying it verbally to all of you, so now you understand I do put respect on Pittsburgh's name. Dear Steelers fans, Steelers Nation, I'm sorry. I was wrong. You will make the playoffs this year, and you are still one of the top teams in the league. I was wrong when I said that you would go 7-9. I was wrong when I said that you guys were no longer a powerhouse in this league. I was wrong when I said Big Ben could no longer play at a high level. But as we know, Father Time is undefeated. So while I may have been wrong about the downfall of Big Ben and the Steelers this year, there's always next year. Sincerely, yours truly. So there you go, Steelers Nation. I don't want to hear that I don't put respect on your name, because there's your apology. That's what you've all been wanting from me. No more whining about how I never put any respect on the Steelers' name. Now that that's over, thankfully, that just hurt me so much to do. On to the next topic. Let's get into the weekly power rankings, why don't we? Payton's Power 10. Something we haven't done in a while. I'm going to bring that back for you guys. And starting off at number 10, I have the Buffalo Bills. They're coming back to the top 10. I had them out last week. My thoughts on the Bills is that their offense seems a little bit inconsistent, to be honest. But they're going to win the AFC East, in my opinion. And they're coming off a big win against New England. I understand that New England is 2-5 and that they're struggling, especially offensively. But I feel like with Bill Belichick, they're still a tough team to beat, and they put up a fight until the very end. So I'm putting the Bills back in the Power 10 teams. I'm interested in seeing how they will do against the Seahawks later today. That's a big game for them. If they win that, they're for real. They're going to go up way, way higher on this power rankings for sure. Now at number 9, I have the New Orleans Saints. I was right about them maybe taking a step back this season. They still make the top 10 as of right now because of how excellent the talent around Drew Brees is. And now that Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are healthy, things should be looking up for that offense. But I was right. Brees definitely isn't what he used to be. Father Time for sure has caught up to him a little bit, but I feel like he's definitely managing the game and he's doing what it takes to put his team in position to win games. And that's exactly what I said he needs to do this season, and that's what he has been doing. So Saints at number 9. Now at number 8, I have Green Bay dropping a few places from last week. I'm not going to overreact to a loss to a subpar Vikings team, mainly because it's a divisional game and anything happens in divisional games. They're very weird. A lot of upsets happen in divisional games. Just look at the Chiefs. They lost to the Raiders. Things happen when you play teams in your division because they know you. They play you every single year. But their run defense certainly needs some work. Dalvin Cook cooked them. I mean, I know that sounds corny, but it's true. I mean, he just burned everybody. I also just need to see a little bit more from them against top-notch teams. They played awful in their matchup against the Bucs, so we'll see about the Packers. But Aaron Rodgers is great, and like Stephen A. says, he's a bad man, and I expect him to continue to do great things. Now at number 7, I have the Arizona Cardinals. They're real. They're real. I'm serious. They're real. I'm real high on them now. Their O-line has improved. Their defense is playing well. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins have been clicking since the start of the season, which is really important. I mean, we see Odell and Baker. They haven't been clicking for the past year and a half. So they're clicking since week 1. That's really good. And they just beat their biggest divisional rival in an overtime game, a tight game where everybody was playing their A game, which I'm sure is a huge confidence booster for a young team like that. They just are coming off their bye week, and they're about to play the Dolphins this Sunday. I expect big things from Kyler Murray and this Cardinal team moving forward. At number 6, I have Baltimore. The Ravens aren't done, guys. They're still a great team. Let's not overreact. Everyone likes to overreact. Let's not overreact about the loss against Pittsburgh. But we do need to say Lamar needs to play better. You cannot turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win the game. It doesn't help that they don't have a number 1 option at wide receiver either. I understand that, but Lamar needs to step it up. You also look at their running backs. They're very mediocre this season. It looks like Mark Ingram has lost a step. Gus Edwards hasn't really done anything. And J.K. Dobbins, he's been But they still have one of the best defenses in the league. Calais Campbell's there now. They have a great cornerback, Marlon Humphreys. He's great. And many people consider him to be one of the best in the league. And Lamar is still electrifying. So to me, they're easily a top 10 team. No doubt about it. To begin the top 5 now, I have the Tennessee Titans. They're coming off a tough loss against the Bengals. I understand that. However, much like I said, the Patriots aren't an easy team to beat. Same with the Bengals. The Bengals can win any game, any given Sunday. Joe Burrow is the man, and he's taken charge of that team, which actually has a decent amount of talent on the offensive side of the ball. So it doesn't surprise me that they upset the Titans on an off day, especially since the Titans, they're coming off of a loss where they were a coin flip and a field goal away from winning that game. So that's got to be demoralizing. They barely lost to Pittsburgh. They're still one of the best red zone offenses in the league, and I expect them to bounce back from that loss against Cincinnati last week. Now at number 4, I have Seattle. They looked really good against San Francisco last week, even while Jimmy Garoppolo was playing. Russell Wilson is still the MVP of the league. As of right now, that can change, but he's still the MVP of the league right now. And he's doing all of this while Chris Carson has been injured. And I believe Chris Carson is a big part of that offense. But he's been injured. He's been banged up, and he's been hurt. And Jamal Adams, he's been injured on the defensive side of the ball most of the season as well. But you look at DK Metcalf. He really has been the breakout star of the year, hasn't he? He's special. He's something else. He's got the potential to be one of the greatest receivers of all time. That may be a stretch, but I think it's the truth. He has the physical potential, and he seems like he really wants it. And Tyler Lockett, their other wide receiver that everyone forgets about because all the hype is around DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett has been one of the best deep ball wide receivers in the league, and he's super reliable. Russell Wilson loves throwing the ball to him. I think the Seahawks, they're firing on all cylinders right now, and I'm very excited to see how the rest of their season goes. I think they can win it all this year. Now, at number 3, starting off the top 3, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're legit, man. They're the real deal. They've been inconsistent at times this season. I understand that. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady finds many ways to win with all of his new weapons. And now, Tom just got a new friend. His name is Antonio Brown. Imagine Antonio Brown being your third option at wide receiver. That's just not fair. I mean, if he has his head screwed on straight, that's just not fair. I mean, that's going to be incredible. And he has a connection with Tom Brady. He's staying with Tom Brady in his house in Tampa. Man, if they can get that connection going, that's just not going to be fair. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's going to be insane. The Buccaneers have been rolling on offense and on defense as well. That's something that nobody's been talking about, but this Bucs team has a great defense, and it's very, very real. The Bucs team is going to keep rolling, and they're going to keep getting better as the season progresses, in my opinion. They might be number 1 by the end of the year. Now at number 2, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben has stepped up and proven that he is still able to help his team win games. James Conner has also been having a great year as well. That defense is stout like we all expected it to be. And they have the steal of the draft. Chase Claypool. He's a big target that has great hands, and Big Ben just loves to throw the ball to him now. I think Claypool will eventually surpass Juju as the number 1 wide receiver on that team. And the Steelers, they're looking real solid, so I have them at number 2. But at number 1, I still have the Chiefs. They're the best team in the league. They have Patrick Mahomes, who's still doing Patrick Mahomes things. Travis Kelce, who's definitely the best tight end of the league now that George Kittle is hurt. Tyreek Hill, who's the most explosive player in the league. Now they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's been running real nice for them, and Le'Veon Bell. But most importantly, with all of these offensive weapons, they're all clicking. They all have chemistry, and everyone is on the right page. The defense is also playing a lot better than people are giving them credit for, and on top of a great offense with great chemistry and an above-average defense, they also have a Hall of Fame coach and a mastermind on the sidelines in Andy Reid. I think the Chiefs are favored to win the Super Bowl still, so that's why I have them at number 1. And now it's time, everybody. It's time to get into this new segment that I'm actually really excited for. I hope this takes off. Poll Payton. This is where throughout the week, I'll take questions that you, the viewers, have and want me to answer, and I will come on the show and answer them. It's pretty self-explanatory, so without further ado, let's get right into the first question. Do the 49ers have any serious hope for the playoffs? I'm going to be honest with you. They don't. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're a Niners fan. You're probably going to get mad if you are, but this is who you have injured on your team right now. I have a list, and I'm going to read it to you. It's really hard to bounce back when you have this many players injured, especially when they're this good. Listen to this. Richard Sherman, he's on IR. Nick Bosa, IR. Jimmy Garoppolo might need surgery. Dee Ford, IR. Raheem Mostert, IR. George Kittle has a broken foot, IR. Jeff Wilson, IR. And the list goes on. We have Jordan Reed, Solomon Thomas, Ziggy Ansah, and many more. Deebo Samuel was out last week. It's not looking good for you guys. Unfortunately, the 49ers are just one of those teams that just caught the injury bug. Everyone hates it. It's really disappointing, and they got it really, really bad this year. I don't think it's the Super Bowl hangover. I think it's the injury bug that's been plaguing you guys. And you're also in one of the hardest divisions in football. I highly doubt if you're going to make it out of that alive with all these injuries, man. Now, the next question is, Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott? And this one was kind of easy for me. I'm going with Deshaun Watson. This is why. I understand that the Dallas Cowboys are really struggling without Dak, but if you take Deshaun Watson off the Texans, they're probably going to go 0-16. Deshaun Watson, when you have the right pieces around him, if you gave Deshaun Watson Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, all them boys, he'd be destroying the league right now. Deshaun Watson is a top-level guy, and Dak Prescott he's a solid quarterback. I'd say he's easily top 15 in the league. He's a solid quarterback, and he deserves a starting job. Don't get me wrong, no disrespect on Dak Prescott, but he's nowhere near the talent and the level of excellence of Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. Then we have DK Metcalf, or Megatron, Calvin Johnson. He used to play for the Lions. Man, this one's hard. Everyone's comparing DK Metcalf to Megatron now. This one's really hard for me. Right now, I'm going to have to go with Calvin Johnson just because we know Calvin Johnson was great. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But he did retire early. So if DK Metcalf can get the longevity, I think he's faster than Calvin Johnson was. He has the potential. The potential is there to be better than Calvin Johnson. But I feel as if as of right now, it's too early to tell. So I'm going to go with Calvin Johnson. Then our next question is Chiefs or Seahawks? That's an interesting one. They both have extremely high-powered offenses. Right now, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. They're healthier. I think Pat Mahomes is better than Russell Wilson. I just had them number one in my power rankings the whole season. I'm going with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to repeat as Super Bowl champions. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Super Bowl matchup, Chiefs versus Seahawks. I think that would be a great match in the Super Bowl. But right now, I'm going with the Chiefs. They're firing on all cylinders. They have good chemistry. Going with the Chiefs. Then I got this. This is the final question, but I got this one a lot. I got this one multiple times. Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. Both first-round picks. They're both playing extremely well. Right now, I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. He's playing with a way worse offensive line. You have to understand, the Chargers traded for Brian Bulaga and Trey Turner. They have a great, solid offensive line. They have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, who's a great deep threat. They have a great defense. And Joe Burrow doesn't. Joe Burrow has nice wide receivers. I mean, T. Higgins, A.J. Green hasn't really done much. Tyler Boyd is decent. Joe Mixon's okay, but it doesn't matter because that offensive line is awful. And that defense is not very good. So Joe Burrow is doing more with less. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. And that's it, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening. If you would, please make sure to like, follow, or subscribe wherever you may be listening. Also, please make sure to follow the show on social media at Payton Doyle Show. That is at Payton Doyle Show. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you all so much for listening and have a great Sunday. Thank you.